All right, Harmony Academy, Algebra 2. We are going to be solving square root equations. This is the biggest part of your open-ended questions. Okay? So this is important because you have to really show your work here. So something you guys should already find natural is before you square, okay, to cancel square roots, you have to isolate one or both sides of the equation depending what it looks like. Okay. Step 2, you can use any factoring method. Sometimes it's easy just to use factored form. You might have to use quadratic formula. I don't know. Okay. They're all different. But a lot of times they're pretty easy. Okay. And yes, you have to check the solutions. We hardly ever do that. In this case, we do because square roots, they're different. And sometimes there's extraneous solutions or solutions that are actually untrue. Okay, so you have to check. All right, so this is what they're gonna look like. Okay, very similar to the CBA. The one that I want to do with you guys is 11 because it has an extraneous solution. Okay, so I have to check, and we'll find out why 8 works and why the other number doesn't work. Okay. All right. So it's tough for me to do an example of everything, but this one's going to be very important for us. Okay. So um, in my case, I can already square both sides because it's isolated. There's no square root over here. This one's by itself. No tiene algo afuera. Okay. There's nothing outside. So I can take x minus 4. Okay. Now, if there was like a plus 3, I cannot square yet. I have to get rid of this over here and then isolate the square root and do it, okay? But in this case, it's ready to go, so make sure you do this, okay? The parentheses, because I'm going to square all of this. So I'm going to have to do some distribution, some FOIL, okay? And here's the beautiful part. It's isolated, so it's going to cancel, okay? So I'll go a little slow for people's notes, okay? Whoops. Now this is, okay, I'm being nice here. Okay, for some of you guys who struggle, okay, square means this. So now I'm not gonna go too slow on the FOIL. Okay, first, outer, inner, and last. Okay. And now I'm gonna combine. Okay. Now I'm gonna subtract the next. Okay, so that's gonna give me minus 9x, and I'm gonna subtract 8. So I have ax squared minus 9x minus 8, whoops, plus 8 equals 0. Again, here I could use the quadratic formula, but it might be easier just to use factored form because two numbers that multiply to give me 8 and those two numbers add to give me negative 9. Okay, so that's going to be negative 1 and negative 8, or minus 1 minus 8. This times this is positive 8. This plus this is negative 9. Okay, so right here, right, the way that you completely solve is you set this one equal to 0, and okay, take advantage of these notes because sometimes people forget these things. Okay, so here to solve, I add 1 to both sides, so x equals 1. I add 8 to both sides, and x equals 8. Okay, so notice that I have 1 and 8, but it does not equal this answer. Why? It looks like this is the extraneous solution. Okay, So let's go ahead and check real quick. How do I check? You go back to the original, okay, which is this guy right here, 1 and 8, okay. So we're curious about the 1. Let's put the 1 in, okay. So I'm gonna put 1. Okay, so this is check number 1. Okay, 1 minus 4 equals 1 plus 8. This minus 4 is the negative 3. This is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. It doesn't equal, so that's why it's extraneous, okay. It shows it's a solution, but you have to check it, okay, and it's not true. Let's check the other one. I guess we can say fail, okay. Now let's do another check over here. I'm gonna plug in 8 for x minus 4 equals square root of 8, right? Every time I substitute, parentheses, this gives me 4, this gives me 16, square root of 16 is 4, and it does check, okay? Good, bad, extraneous solution, okay? So, malo, okay? You are gonna have to check, people, okay? So as you can see, some of these already can kind of guide you to probably they have an extraneous solution. Some of them include both. So the more you practice, the better you'll be. I'm gonna end the video there so we can practice in class. We'll catch you in class, okay?